Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and compare the iPhone 15 Pro and compare it against the iPhone 14 Plus and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you, there really isn't like a perfect phone for like the person out there. Like I can't think of one iPhone that I'd recommend more than the other one for the average person, because these are two very different phones. And I feel like if you like one phone, you might not like the other one. But I will tell you, size is everything. If you like smaller phones, the Pro models are very good. If you like the bigger ones, the Plus models are pretty good. I will tell you though, the iPhone 15 Pro is probably the better iPhone in a majority of different ways. So kind of keep that in mind. If you want to pick up any of the iPhones I would recommend buying this year though, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone 14 Plus, which came out back in 2022 at the end of last year, on the front of this phone has a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. It's a very good looking panel. I like this phone a lot, and I definitely will tell you for like the average person out there, you're going to have a very, very good time with this particular device. The thing with this iPhone is that it is pretty big, so if you're not comfortable using a big phone or you don't know anything about using a big phone like this one, then you may have a different type of experience with it, and that's just one of those things to kind of keep in mind here. I truly do feel like with a device like the iPhone 15 Pro, it might be a little bit more easier to use for the average person, but the 14 Plus is still a very good looking phone. It's a 60Hz panel, the notch up top, but when compared to the iPhone 15 Pro, this is a little bit of a different story. So with the iPhone 15 Pro on the front, you're getting a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, so kind of more or less the same exact thing. But with this particular device, you are actually getting a 120Hz Pro Motion display. That's a very nice display to have. That's something I love seeing on these particular devices. And once again, that in and of itself is probably going to be one of the bigger differences here. If you're wanting like that bigger size device, or you're wanting something that has a little bit more power to it, or a little bit more of a featureful experience, that that iPhone 15 Pro is definitely going to be giving you a better experience overall from that particular standpoint. So from that situation right there, that's kind of a big difference. You're also getting that dynamic island on the front of the iPhone 15 Pro as well, which is also another cool advantage for that particular device. So that kind of covers it up there. On the sides, they both have flat sides to them. The 15 Pro has that action button on the side, which is kind of a nice touch. Volume buttons, everything, no SIM card trace in either one of these phones. But on the outside of them, on the bottom, you are actually getting that Lightning port on the iPhone 14 Plus, whereas on the iPhone 15 Pro, you were getting that USB-C port. This, again, is a pretty big difference here. If you're wanting, I guess, the more featureful phone that's going to be giving you the overall better experience overall, USB-C is probably going to be the one that's going to be better for a majority of people. Having USB-C is very cool. It's pretty much one of the more flagship type of features that you're going to be getting on any iPhone probably for the next couple of years, and it is one of my most favorite things going on with those devices. I'm sure there's going to be more advantage in the future with USB-C, but as of right now, that is a very, very cool thing going on for that particular device. With the iPhone 14 Plus, Lightning is still fine. You're still getting, flat sides and everything on both, which is a nice touch. But on the back, this is also a slight difference. With the iPhone 14 Plus dual camera setup, but you're also getting a full-on glass back on the back of that device. With the iPhone 15 Pro, you are getting that frosted glass back. I've always loved frosted glass backs. I think they hold up a lot better than standard glass backs, and the 15 Pro is no exception. This thing looks very good from that standpoint. I think it's going to hold up very, very well for the future. You're getting that triple camera setup, MagSafe capability on the back, wireless charging, IP certification, the whole 9 yards. Lots and lots of good stuff going on with these types of devices, which is really nice. And I think from that standpoint alone, you are definitely getting very good phones from both. But I will probably tell you, if you're wanting the better phone between them, I think the iPhone 15 Pro will hold up a lot better from that standpoint than potentially the iPhone 14 Plus. So from that standpoint alone, that kind of covers it up there. Now, from the camera standpoint, this is also another slight difference that I kind of mentioned earlier. With the iPhone 14 Plus, you're getting that dual camera setup, a wide and ultra-wide camera. They're 12 megapixel sensors. They look great. There's not a lot to complain about here. With the iPhone 15 Pro, on the other hand, you are getting a triple camera setup, a 48 megapixel wide-angle lens, ultra-wide camera, and telephoto lens. For sure, in my opinion, you are definitely getting the overall better sensor on the iPhone 15 Pro than on the iPhone 14 Plus. So that is one of the bigger things to keep in mind. With the iPhone 14 Plus, I still think you're getting a very solid camera overall. It looks great. It takes photos and videos and everything going on with that device. It's a very good sensor. I haven't really had to complain about that one for far too long. With the iPhone 15 Pro, this is definitely, like I mentioned, the better one in every single area. This thing is going to be giving you, higher quality photos, higher quality videos. You're also going to be getting a very solid experience with that UI. And because, both of them have the same type of experience, they have in the UI experience, for sure. But I will definitely tell you the 15 Pro, more zooming in, more zooming out, higher megapixel count, is definitely going to be the overall better sensor on that phone than on the iPhone 14 Plus in my opinion. So that kind of covers it up there too. Now, in terms of the software and longevity, the iPhone 14 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro are still going to be supported for many, many years. They are not going to be outdated anytime soon. So that's just one major thing to keep in mind there. With that being said, you are still going to be getting, I would say, a very good experience on the 14 Plus for many years. But the iPhone 15 Pro is probably going to be the one that's going to last the longest amount of time. If you're wanting the phone that's going to last, the most amount of years starting this point, the iPhone 15 Pro is going to be the one that you're going to want to pick up. It's going to be giving you the better experience. It's going to be giving you just better everything in general. And that in and of itself, once again, is going to be the biggest thing you can kind of keep in mind. So that right there is another thing to kind of keep in mind as well. In terms of performance, this is also going to be a slight difference. With the iPhone 14 Plus, you're getting that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6GB of RAM. With the iPhone 15 Pro, you are getting that Apple A17 Pro chip inside of it with 8GB of RAM. So I will tell you from that perspective again, you are going to be getting for sure the better performing phone on the iPhone 15 Pro. But there's a few different small things to kind of keep in mind here. From everything that I've kind of seen from my personal opinion, I still kind of feel like with the iPhone 14 Plus, very good performing phone. And if it wasn't for that 120Hz panel on the iPhone 15 Pro, I don't think I'd be able to tell like massive differences between these. So I've always felt like that. I've always felt like if you're getting like a 120Hz phone versus like a 60Hz phone, the 120Hz phone is always going to feel much faster and significantly faster at that. But I still think that a device like the iPhone 15 Pro, although it is the faster one in general, the 14 Plus is still going to be holding up very, very well. And I do think even from that perspective alone, it gets a thumbs up for me too. So if you're wanting the faster phone, I would probably tell you that the iPhone 15 Pro is definitely for sure the better one without a doubt. But the 14 Plus still holds up very, very well. And I think that deserves a lot of credit from that standpoint as well. So that kind of covers it up there. Battery life wise, it's not even close. The iPhone 14 Plus is going to be giving you, actually it's kind of close, 26 hours of video playback on the 14 Plus, the 15 Pro 23 hours of video playback. So you are going to be once again getting the better battery life for sure on the iPhone 15 Pro than the iPhone 14 Plus. So I think that's one of the other big advantages here for sure as well. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is I definitely do think a device like the iPhone 15 Pro is probably going to be the better phone in a majority of different areas. I think that is the phone I would recommend almost every single person to go ahead and buy and pick up. And if you're wanting the better phone, the 15 Pro without a doubt is going to be the one for you. But I will also like to add that the iPhone 14 Plus, because it is a little bit older, you can buy this thing and it's not going to cost that much money. It's going to be cheaper than probably an iPhone 15 Pro. And I would probably say that is also going to be a really big thing going on for that device as well. So the choice is yours. I don't know if there's like one particular device I would look at way more than the other one, but I think the iPhone 15 Pro is the one I would recommend pretty much every single person to go ahead and buy and pick up. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.